Hello, it's Gray.
Hello, it's Crystal.
And this is Busty Asian Beauties, a supernatural commentary podcast where I, someone who has seen this show many, many times.
And I, someone who only knows the show through social media, discuss every single episode of Supernatural from start to finish. Also, we are both Asian.
Both Asian. For this episode, we are discussing Season 6, Episode 3, The Third Man, written by Ben Edlund and directed by Robert Singer. This episode is horrible. No, this episode is very racist.
Yeah.
Yeah. Last episode, Crystal was like, I think Cass is like racist next episode. And I was like, I wonder what that means. And then I watched this episode, and as every single piece slowly fell into place like a Tetris game, I was like, oh no. This episode is egregiously racist. Ben Edlund, I'll kill you. Sorry. I probably shouldn't say stuff like that again because of everything, but
in case he dies of suspicious circumstances,
yeah,
and
they
alibi,
track down
you'll be
this
out
episode.
of the country.
I will have never stepped foot into the United States, but what if he dies during a vacation to the Philippines, Crystal? Let's consider all of our fucking situations.
When Ben Edlund goes to the Philippines, I'll buy you a plane ticket to come to the U.S. to visit me.
Yeah, we have to plan it very early on because the visa applications is going to be one hell of a thing. Like, they'll interview me and I'll go, oh, it's because Ben Edlund is coming to the Philippines and I'm afraid that people will think I'll kill him if he dies here. And they'll be like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Or they'll be like, I completely understand. I hate that guy too. Go to the U.S.
No, but he's always gonna have the benefit of the doubt for being a U.S. citizen.
It's true.
Unfortunate.
Yeah.
Well, he's extending his repertoire this episode from
misogyny
good old-fashioned misogyny to good old-fashioned racism.
What's neo-racism?
I think, you know what? I think all of it is good old-fashioned. They haven't invented new ones. They're just repurposing old ones over and over again.
Yeah, that seems to be the case.
Yeah, so that's kind of our content warning for this episode. There's going to be discussions of police brutality, but also specifically discussions of how Supernatural used this storyline in ways that are completely insensitive and also egregious.
Yeah.
And also, specifically, it's like anti-black racism, like, just to be clear.
Yeah.
Well, what did you know about this episode before going in, by the way?
I knew about the shot where Cass falls out of a window onto Sam's car while fighting an angel. Because it's in the...
While biting?
While fighting an angel.
Oh, okay. So should have bit him. Yeah.
Because it's in the Cass What the Hell AMV.
Of course.
Of course.
I do love that shot so much when, like, it goes down, like, the camera's above, and then it like, pulls back up.
Yeah, no, they
to
have
be
to
behind
pay
70. It's pretty fun.
a lot of money to make that shot happen, I feel.
Yeah. Do you think it's more or less money than the crane shot with Cass in season 4 when the levee breaks?
Probably more. I
Probably
don't know
more,
how
yeah.
showbiz works. Somebody let us know. Robert
Yeah,
Singer,
somebody let us know.
if you're listening.
No, yeah, that was also a Robert Singer episode. Yeah.
Let us know.
There was a reverse Robert Singer Zoom this episode. And I did find it incredibly amusing. When Cass would transfer places.
True.
The one specifically where he kidnaps that kid and takes his body to the motel room to torture. Dean is like, wait, why are you taking that kid? And Cass goes portability, and then it's like so close to his face, and then it zooms out, and they're back in the motel. Yeah. So Robert Singer's playing with his stuff. Good for him.
Good for him. And then the other thing is that there's a young black kid who I thought he got possessed by an angel, but no, he was just spoken to by an angel. And I
Yeah.
knew that Cass would leave him somewhere for the cops to find in a way that would not be pleasant for this child.
Yeah. What do you know about Balthazar? I did not expect that he was gonna be here. Like, I knew the moment they mentioned the staff of Moses, but like, here I was before watching the episode, I didn't know he was gonna be here already. I didn't know he comes in that early.
Well, he's Cass's ex-boyfriend in a lot of human AUs.
Yeah. That's true.
I knew that he was British. I knew that he would be the one who sends them to the show in The French Mistake. And that at some point Cass is going to say that someone has an oak tree up their ass and bite me, and that he learned that from his friend, and that friend was Balthazar.
Yeah, this is true. I don't like Balthazar. I don't like his British accent. I'm Anglophobic.
What about Crowley?
Well, I love Crowley, so, he transcends that.
Mm-hmm.
And he hates Celine Dion. Fuck that guy. Those are all my... I always forget that his name is Balthazar. The actor's name is Sebastian Roche. And I always think that Balthazar's name is Sebastian.
He does look like a Sebastian.
He does look like a Sebastian. Is he actually British? Did I just insult his real accent? Probably.
Oh, probably. Like, why would they make him put on a fake British accent? Wait, he's French American?
He's French American?
Why did they make him put on a fake British accent?
Does he have a fake British accent, or does he have a French American accent?
Does he have a different accent? And I don't know. Balthazar Supernatural. Maybe I just completely forgot. Somebody says he has a Scottish French accent. Is that true?
Does a Scottish French accent just go directly to British? Like, is that what the result of those two
says
accents?
He's Scottish French, but Wikipedia says he's American French. Maybe this is his real accent.
Yeah, probably.
Sorry.
There is a possibility. Sorry, Sebastian. I also have to try very hard to not call you your character Sebastian throughout this entire season, probably.
I don't think I was paying enough attention when he spoke to remember what his accent was. I'm sorry to all the people of Scotland for calling that accent British, unless it sounded British, in which case I'm not sorry.
Yeah, should we stop making fun of people's accents just like Supernatural does, and then also did with that German guy?
Yeah, I guess
There's a possibility that we should, yeah. Unfortunate.
Who else have we
I love doing
the accent.
Sorry. I think at some point we called for racism against Irish people by making fun of their accent.
Yeah, I did call for hibernophobia.
Yeah.
I'm gonna renounce my formerly hibernophobic ways.
Yeah. Also, it's rich coming from me. So we really should stop doing it.
Well, your accent is beautiful, so...
I know. That's the main difference between me and the French-American Scottish accent. Sorry.
Did he roll an R once, though?
It was definitely not a Scottish accent. We have heard David Tennant talk enough in YouTube videos, TV shows, and our dreams to know that that's not a Scottish accent.
Maybe in your dreams.
No, yeah, he was in my dream, and it was pretty bad.
Yeah, well...
He was a gym teacher, and we made out.
You're not keeping this in, are you?
No, I'm keeping that one in. The people should know.
Okay.
And even in the dream, I was like, ugh, yucky.
There's a road so far.
I enjoyed the road so far for this episode. They're just the first few seconds is recapping the first ep and the second ep, and then once they have finally established that, we go to Cass, and like the voice, the like voice clip they use for Cass is in 418 months or the end of this book, if I'm correct, when he's telling Dean like monsters are fierce. They're absolute. They're heaven's most terrifying weapon. What did I say?
You said monsters.
Well, monsters are fierce. But yeah, he's saying archangels are fierce. They're absolute. I think even 418, I have already said that. I absolutely love this delivery. Yeah. And then they show a little bit of Raphael. They show the part where Raphael goes, Castiel, I'm warning you. Do not leave me here. I will find you. And I am once again reminded of how fucking cool the voicing that the actor did for Raphael is.
He's so good.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, this is the last time we will see this specific actor for Raphael.
Yeah, because his
Yeah.
vessel is fucked.
His next vessel is gonna be a woman. I'm pretty sure.
No, but we see him in flashbacks in Man Who
Oh,
Would
this
Be
is
King.
true. That's why I was like, I think we still have Raphael scenes with this guy as the vessel. But yeah, you're right. There's going to be flashback scenes. But like, I think in his current scenes, he's going to be in a female vessel. And then, Cass goes up to heaven. And then he, like, the last line is about how he wants to go back up because it's going to be total anarchy up there. We start the episode, this scene. Okay, just to preface, I'm trying to live my life better. I watched this episode, no knitting. I literally put my knitting physically away so that I can focus on watching the episode. Congratulations to me, and you're welcome to everyone. I was shrieking when this scene was happening. It's very well done in terms of like the makeup and prop and everything.
Yes, they did a really good job.
Excellent. The scene, I mean, last episode, they also did a very good job with the horror aspect of the episode. And I am enjoying this portion that Supernatural is doing where they're trying to recover themselves as a good old-fashioned monster hunting show. But maybe that's why the racism is back. No, but what is with the racism this season? We're like 3 episodes in.
Well, Sarah Gamble
two out of 3.
has a pretty bad
Yeah,
rep.
this is true. Is it Sarah Gamble's fault? It
Maybe.
probably is. Yeah. Anyway, the scene is, so there's this police officer. He's like in the locker room and he is washing his face and he's patting his face dry and then there's like a little nick on the side of his face and he's like, oh, I like nicked myself shaving or whatever. And then as he keeps on going, he like notices that even more of his skin is red and bleeding, so he touches it. And then like the skin just sloughs off. How is that pronounced?
Sloughs.
Sloughs off. And there's just this giant patch that literally falls on the fucking sink. And he just has a giant red hole on his face. Not a hole, like it's his skin, but like below it, like the muscular part of the face. And then he starts freaking out. He takes a step back and like the skin of his foot is like left on the floor. It's wonderful. It's like wonderful to look at. It's completely fucking horrifying. And then like he starts bleeding through his shirt, just like me for real. There's just blood in his mouth, blood in his face, everything. And then he turns around and he sees like there's a police officer. He's gonna be irrelevant later. His name's Ed. And he just goes, Ed, I think I'm bleeding. He tries to take a step forward. And the camera is now just like on Ed. And then we see like a splatter of blood. Like a fine mist of blood go to his face. And then we go to his feet. And it's like, it's bloody. And then it pans slowly towards where the body is. Or the quote unquote body. Because it's just like a pile of clothes and disintegrated flesh. It's just all blood.
Hell yeah.
Very fun. Wonderful. It really is amazing to look at. They did a really good job with this one. I like that they have consistently been doing good teaser or what's that called? The cold open.
Yeah.
It's been consistently good. So that's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. So Dean wakes up in Lisa's house and they're spooning or whatever. And then they start making out and maybe having sex. But then Dean wakes up. He was, in
And it's
fact,
a
having a sex
dream.
dream. And he's sleeping in the Impala.
Every time there's a sex scene in Supernatural, because this one, it is a sex scene. Like, they make a point of, like, showing the, like, hands and whatever. Which is, of course, what makes a sex scene a sex scene. Yeah, but, like, they do that. And I always... I always think about that one IMDb review that was like, oh, yeah, like, your wife says that Sam Winchester is her favorite character. Yeah, I bet after this sex scene where he fucks this woman, so good. And, like, I can't help but think, like, oh, this is, like, some sort of pandering to someone who wants to fuck Dean Winchester.
Yeah. Or who wants to fuck Cindy Sampson.
This is true. Well, why not Lisa Crystal?
You're right, because you said the character name and I said the actress name. You're right. I'm so sorry.
Boo.
Who wants to fuck Lisa or Cindy Sampson? Or Jensen Ackles or Dean Winchester? A lot of options here. Meanwhile, what else is happening in the world of sex?
No, this is hilarious. The cut to Sam working out, I did scream. I was like, love it. Good for him.
Yeah, he's sweating a lot, but I think in, like, the world of the making of Supernatural, they probably just dumped a bunch of lube on Jared Padalecki.
Is that the case? You can just do oil. I feel like lube,
That's true.
because of what it is and how it works, it's probably just gonna look goopy on the skin. That's why they use it for, like, holy water, because it, like, beads up. So this is probably baby oil or something.
You're right. I'm so sorry. Look at me making blunder after blunder today.
Maybe it's macadamia, not oil, Crystal. Yeah.
Maybe so. And he's doing, like, push-ups, sit-ups. Later he's doing chin-ups, which must be hard if his hands are all oiled up.
I think there was a time in my life where I was disgusted by Sam Winchester's half-naked body, because there is this implication that I should be attracted to it, and I'm like, ugh! Yeah. But now, I think I'm able to appreciate a muscular male figure for what it is, which is a fun, interesting thing to look at. It is very interesting. He has, like, a V. You know the V? You know what I'm talking about.
Like, below his neck?
No, like, near his crotch. What is that called? The V line. In his, like, hips.
Why do I only know them as cum gutter?
What?
I only know them. Are you talking about the cum gutter?
It's called the gutter?
It's called the cum gutter. I'm sure there's another term for it.
I refuse. I steadily refuse to accept this.
I'm sure there's another. Okay, the iliac furrows.
Do you ever think about the fact that that area is called the love handles? The fuck is that about?
Well, you grab onto them when you have sex.
When you make love, Crystal.
You're right. I'm so sorry. Third apology of the night.
I think it would be terrifying to see a 6'4" man in the wild. Do you think that's you have seen probably a 6'4" man?
Probably.
I don't think I
remember.
have. Yeah. Also, it didn't leave an impression.
Yeah. I mean, currently Grant O'Brien is now my idea of what a really, really tall guy is. So Sam Winchester is whatever.
What is Grant? He's 6'7"?
He's 6'9".
Holy shit.
Yes.
He's the guy who makes the cocktails, right?
Yes.
Oh, God. Well, good for him.
Good for him.
I'm sure he's not terrifying in any way whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean, people mock him for his height every time he's on a video, so.
Yeah. Reth McLaughlin is 6'7", I think.
Who?
The guy from Good Mythical Morning. Keep up, Crystal.
I thought you said Reth. I didn't know who that was.
Yeah, no, I have trouble pronouncing his name at all times.
I understand.
No, you see, I was specifically talking about people who are 6'4". So Jared Padalecki, nobody else. He's working out. It's very fun. He's really working those muscles. Apparently, after you work out, like, your muscles are, like, extra, like, big. Like, they look, like, big. So, like, this is a convenient way to do it, I suppose. Like, just have him do chin-ups before he has his scene where he's showing off his body.
Oh, hot woman comes out of the bathroom. And she's like, oh my god, you're so hot and you're so good at sex. You're the best at sex I've ever had.
Yeah.
And
they want to hang out again later. And Sam's just completely silent.
He's making a sicko mode face or something. Like he's not answering any of her questions. He has like this slight smirk glare combination, but it's like so slight that it has no like energy or emotion behind it. Yeah, so she heads out. And then Sam clears his throat, like, still not saying anything, and then hands her some cash. And this is how you know Sam is soulless, because he paid for a sex worker, and that's evil.
Literally.
God. Yeah. And then, the woman says, like, oh, and by the way, hey, here's my phone number. You're so hot and good at sex that the next time we can just have sex without any money being involved. And Sam goes, okay.
Okay.
And then as soon as she leaves, he throws her phone number into the trash. Love that. What's this about?
What is supernatural thinking?
What are they saying?
No, yeah, what are they saying?
Like, if the point is, like, Sam's not interested in romance, like, you can have one night stands
She was not
romance.
offering romance.
And she was also not offering romance. She was just like, that was a good enough time that I wouldn't need you to pay.
Maybe it's just he moves around a lot. Like, it's still the same logic in season 2. Oh, I move around a lot. But now he also is soulless. So he's like, and I don't give a fuck about you specifically.
Yeah, but I mean, Supernatural has established that it's icky for Sam or Dean to pay for sex because they're so good and hot that they can just get it by themselves. But, like, in this one, it's still, like, he's so good at sex and hot.
Yeah.
So, like...
that he can get a sex worker sex for free.
Yeah.
Which is what they're doing, yeah.
Yeah. But also... yeah, I don't know. It's just, like... I guess, like, he just doesn't want to put the effort in to chat anybody up. Whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Literally, no chatting.
Not a word except for okay at the end once.
Yeah, you should have said okie dokie. And the woman
she would have taken
like,
her number back. The phone rings. It's Dean, who's, like... I think he's swinging by the Campbells, but Sam says that he's in Easter, Pennsylvania, doing a case, because all he does is work. He doesn't take breaks in between anymore. And he just seems really impatient with Dean on the phone, too.
Yeah.
Like,
and also he's hiding the fact that he doesn't sleep.
Does he not sleep?
Yeah. Sorry, you didn't know that? That's like one of the hallmarks of being soulless.
But, wait, what does this mean physiologically?
No idea.
I don't get it.
Is it the soul that needs sleep? That is a good question.
It's the body.
Excellent. Yeah.
Okay,
it could be
not
the
in
soul.
Supernatural.
Have you ever tried being soulless, Crystal?
I guess not.
Yeah, well,
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. I shouldn't speak out. You have, I presume?
Tried being soulless?
Yeah.
You know what? It is a possibility that I have tried it. So ask away.
Well, did you have to sleep?
No.
Well, I'm glad we hashed that out.
Yeah. To be fair, you don't have to sleep. Like, in general.
Yes,
You
but
can
it
choose not to
affects
sleep.
you.
And then you'll die, but like,
Yeah. He's very curt with Dean, very like, just like, I've delivered you your location, just go there, etc. And like, it's so weird, because when he's in person with Dean, he's like, normal, right? Like, so like, what is this?
I don't know. Like, I think they're trying to put a thing where when he is in front of Dean, he's like pretending or whatever. But this is also technically in front of Dean. So like, what's that about?
Yeah. I don't know. Like, is it pretending? Is it like some sort of muscle memory when Dean's here that like reminds him of the way that they usually interact?
That's probably maybe the case, yeah. Do you notice the end of the episode has a coming soon?
Yeah.
And the last scene of that sequence is like Dean finding out that Sam is soulless.
Oh, I didn't
And
watch
then, like,
it. But yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, towards the end, like, Dean already knows what's happening. And, or like, Dean has evidence that this is not true. But like, he turns towards Sam and asks, "But Sam, you'll always have my back, right?" And like, Sam does his Sam smile. And he goes, "Yeah, of course, Dean." And Dean like looks at him like angry. Like, "I'm angry and mad at you." So like,
Thank you
I don't
for
know.
the description.
Well, it is accurate. Like, if you watch it again, you'll know for a fact that I was correct in my description. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyway, so like, I think there is a sense of like having to pretend in front of Dean, more so when you're in person than in a call, because in a call at least you can hide your like physicality. Mm-hmm. You can hide your like body language or whatever. But, like, when you're with him in real, like, you have to do the Sam Winchester smile.
It's true.
And Sam seems to be only capable of doing the Sam Winchester smirk nowadays. So we go to one of those back road. Is this a back road?
Well, it says he's parked on the side of the road.
Well, yeah, not on the back of the road. No, but like, what do you call this specific look of a road in the United States? Looks like a road, but like it's like weird. I don't know.
Dirt?
It's not a dirt road. It's like, oh, yesterday this was a dirt road, but they paved it today. And that's what it looks like. It's that kind of road. This cop is like in a police car on the side, slightly obstructed by the leaves. Definitely obstructed if you're in a car and you're driving towards it. And he is doing the speed gun. Like, there's a car that passes by pretty quickly, and it's 70 miles per hour. How much is that?
It's like
it's
fine.
112.
It's not too fast.
I think that is pretty fast.
Really?
Yeah, when my dad gets to 70 kilometers per hour, I'm like, we're going to die. That's why I don't drive, by the way. Which is 43 miles per hour.
That's like the local roads in my neighborhood are like 55.
Yeah. A lot of the
Miles.
roads here are at 60 kilometers per hour or 70 max speed. Yeah. That's why, like, what is the point of buying a sports car in the Philippines? Roads are bad. You can't speed anywhere. You're always caught up in traffic. So just buy a Dodge Charger, just like Sam Winchester. I think a Dodge Charger is also expensive, but that's by the by. Anyway, this cop, I don't know, he receives a phone call. Later we find out that this is the cop that saw the other cop die earlier. And what this cop was saying is like, "Oh, like, why are you calling me? Like, he's dead, whatever, it's not about us. We do what we do, we go to work, we go to the funeral." And then, he's just like, "It's not about us. Don't call me anymore," blah, blah, blah. And then we start seeing this, like, point of view shot from the woods, like, just towards the side of the car. And later on, you realize that this is a kid, like, sneaking about. I think in this scene, you're supposed to think it's a monster who's going to attack, and we're finally going to see the monster, like, physically. So it is fun when what happens next is there's this, like, camera that zooms into the cop, and it, like, instead of, like, being bitten or whatever, attacked, he starts growing boils on his skin. Later on, we see him with no hair, no eyebrows, no nothing. And I was a bit disappointed. I was like, he should have put in the hair. But yeah, he dies from that. And apparently there's like so many inside his throat as well. And he tries to call like emergency, but he couldn't speak, blah, blah, blah. And then he's dead.
Yippee!
Yoo-hoo!
Sam and Dean meet up, and when Dean leaves the Impala, he's in the middle of a phone call to Ben, where he tells him, like, I know you're lying, because I lie professionally, that's how. Which I think is a nice continuation of the Dean actually does tell Ben most things, it seems. Yeah, he just says that he should tell Lisa that he broke this thing that he's lying about breaking, and then he tells him to take it like a man, which is also a phrase that he employed on Bobby John last episode. So I guess this is one of Dean Winchester's main parenting tools, giving people ideas of gender norms that are inaccurate. No, I mean, that's not the right way to phrase it, but who cares? Anyway, Sam's sort of laughing at him about this. They move on to talking about Dean and Lisa, and Dean's like, oh, Lisa is like really cool about me going. And Sam just says, better for everybody. It's true. And then Dean makes fun of Sam for his car a bit. Yeah. And they're being smiley and laughy and just really very normal.
What do you think about the car?
Sam's car?
Yeah.
It's fine. It's a car. It drives. It's got wheels.
It is very rounded, which is, I think you notice it very distinctly when it's beside the Impala.
Yeah, it's cute.
And it has that little vent in the front. So fun.
Just like Sam in his crotch area.
Crystal.
They go to the morgue. They learn about both of these cops. Yeah, they decide that there's definitely a connection between them. The only witness is Officer Ed Colfax, who's the cop we saw in the cold open. So they decide to go and talk to him. He's the partner of the cop who turned into blood.
Yeah.
As they're driving there, Sam turns a corner, and then Dean immediately, like, swerves, tires screeching, cuts him off to park in front of him. And when they get out, Sam goes, were you racing me? And Dean goes, no, I was kicking your ass.
And Dean does look incredibly amused by this, so good for him.
Yeah, I'll allow this. He can be happy sometimes.
So they, like, knock on the house, and the cop answers. He goes out. His name's Ed. And he is in full uniform with the cap and everything. And Sam introduces himself as, like, the fad. And, you know, we're just going to ask questions about your guy. And Ed is very visibly in distress. And he basically tells him, like, no, fuck off. And he closes the door. And Sam's like, okay. And then he kicks the door in. And Dean's like, whoa, Sam. I can't believe you've done this. Inside, there's, like, family photos. And, like, photos of him. Photos. But, you know, it's just, like usual family on the wall type photos. He has Ed is like on the corner on a table. He is using like, I think a knife to scratch out his face on a picture of him in uniform. And like Dean is like, okay, weird. Well, we think your partner has been involved in foul play. Do you know any enemies of his? And Ed says, well, yes. And they both had it coming. I'll be the next to go. And then it will be over and God will be satisfied. Yeah, he says God wants us all dead because of Christopher Birch. There is a thing that they do in this scene where he knocks over I think a whiskey bottle. And then he just lets it pour and pour and pour, which I did enjoy the visuals of. It's because this scene, if they didn't do that, would be incredibly boring. So they were like, let's knock over a bottle of whiskey. And he describes Christopher Birch as having no face and a planted gun. Yeah. A kid with no face and a planted gun. Yeah. He like starts bleeding from under his cap, and he's like, oh yeah, I've been itching a lot. And he collapses. And when Dean takes out his cap, there's cicadas inside.
Locusts. Are they the same thing?
Are those different? I think locust is a general term.
They're different.
So Sam and Dean figure out that this is like the fucking Egyptian plagues, but like in small quantities. Which is very fun. And also they took one of the fucking locusts and put it in a jar.
Yeah.
Would you have done that?
No, I was like, that thing can
I would
eat
definitely
through
have
a
not.
skull. It can definitely eat through this glass.
Yeah. I don't think that's true. I'm so sorry.
I don't think cicadas generally can do that. Like, most cicadas can't eat through a skull or glass, but these are clearly special cicadas.
Yeah, but like, even still, like, a skull is organic matter. Let's not do that. It literally doesn't matter.
Is there like a Mohs hardness scale that like measurement?
Okay, let's
for a skull.
Skull in Mohs. 5 on the most hardness.
Yeah, and then let's see.
Glass.
Okay, it's a 5.5 to a 6. So it depends on how strong those cicadas are. But yeah, it's not an automatic assumption that it's true, but it could happen. It's not too far off. Unless Mohs is it exponential or logarithmic or however you call it?
It's close to being exponential.
Mm-hmm. Okay, then yeah, probably, yeah, there's no real reason to think they can get through glass then. You're right, Gray.
Yay. And you were able to find this truth via evidence-based reasoning. Good for us.
What they find out is that Christopher Birch, who the cop was talking about earlier, was a child who was shot in the head last month during a vehicle pursuit, and all 3 of the cops who died were involved. And all of them filed a police report saying that they had to fire because Christopher Birch was brandishing a firearm. So, yeah, they planted the gun and lied about it. I mean, Sam and Dean are both like, wow, that's bad. Correct.
The way they do it is to Dean just go, oh, well, that's bad. He goes, bunch of dicks. Okay.
Yeah. And Sam thinks maybe really this is like God or heaven acting against these cops, which I think is an interesting follow through from like Houses of the Holy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like his reasoning is that now that the apocalypse is done, the angels have better things to do, like kill cops.
Yeah. I wish. Unfortunately, our main angel of the show loves cops. Dean says, let's call the main angel of the show who loves cops. And
me!
What?
No, he says, who loves cops and me!
Yeah, he says all of that just like that. Sam says, he's not gonna come because I already tried. And
because he hates me.
Because he hates me! Dean gives it a shot. He's like not like reverent about it or anything. Like, you know, it's now I lay me down to sleep. I pray to Castiel to get his feathery ass down here. And then don't be a dick. But, I guess what works is that he tells Cass that there's something happening down here that's like the Egyptian plagues. And Sam's like I said, the son of a bitch doesn't answer. And then he's right behind me, isn't he?
Yeah. We hear the whoosh whoosh sound of the wings, and Sam's face changes from bemusement to anger and confusion.
Yeah. So Cass says hello in his Cass words. And Sam's pissed. He goes, hello? And Cass goes, yes. And then Sam imitates Cass. His hello. And then he goes, hello? And Cass goes, that is still the term.
Love him. He spent a quote-unquote year as a celestial... what does he call himself? A multidimensional wavelength of celestial intent. And his people skills are rusty.
Yeah. Yeah, he's very charming during this first scene. Sam goes, so what, you like Dean better or something? And Cass is like...
And Cass basically goes, yeah. He's hilarious.
He goes, Dean and I do share a more profound bond. And then turns to Dean and goes, what? I wasn't going to mention it. Which sounds like they fucked.
Yeah, which sounds like they have talked about this very much so before.
Yeah.
It is funny that, like, the way he poses it, it's like, we all know this is true, but, like, I wasn't gonna say it because it's impolite to say it. I was trying to be polite.
Yeah, you saw me trying, Dean.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a bit of a Castiel loss, but I would say Sam imitating Cass's voice is a Castiel win, so really, where do we lie here?
I think we lie very solidly on the they have started queer baiting with Destiel side.
Yeah. I think that's what that is.
Yeah.
Started.
I mean, I would argue that season 5 they haven't done fully, but also I argued in season 5 that in season 4 they haven't done it yet fully, and in season 5 they're actually doing it. And I suppose I will keep on arguing that until time immemorial.
Yeah, until 15-18, when you're like, it's so great how Supernatural never queer baited once, because it's real here.
No, but you think they started in season 5?
Yeah.
I probably also think that. I'm just in denial.
Yeah. You remember Cass, not for nothing, but the last time someone looked at me like that, I got laid?
Oh yeah, you're right. But that isn't queer baiting. Cass really is just gay and wants to fuck, dude. And Dean is using it to his advantage.
That's true. I guess since Cass is canonically queer, anything that's just about Cass wanting to fuck Dean isn't queer baiting. So then this isn't queer baiting either.
No,
but I wasn't going to mention it. Was like they've both talked about it.
No, that's not how we would define queer baiting. As you said, right? Just because Cass turned out to be gay doesn't mean that.
I agree, blah, blah, blah. But you just said that it wasn't queer baiting because Cass is really gay and wants to fuck
No,
Dean.
But like Dean is trying to get something that is actually true about like their dynamic, which is that Cass likes him better, and then he's just exaggerating it. In a way that will make Cass feel ashamed for his attachment to Dean and where his dedication lies in the heaven apocalypse situation.
Okay.
Like, I don't think he's saying, like, Cass wants to fuck me. I think he's saying that, like, I think Cass likes me more than is appropriate. And I'm gonna make fun of him for it and use it to my advantage.
Okay. Personal the personal space thing in 503 and My Bloody Valentine.
No, yeah, that's queer baiting.
Cool. So, anyway, Dean, instead of being like, Cass, that's mean, or Cass, you're friends with Sam, he goes, No, but okay, I know you fucking hate Sam, and honestly, so do I. But remember how he went to hell for us? You gotta answer his question.
We didn't even acknowledge that he calls it a profound bond, which ends up being the
Name of the
Castiel
trailer.
name of the... Well, not just the trailer. It's a prominent thing that people say about Castiel.
So Cass says that he doesn't have any answers because he doesn't know who brought Sam back from the cage. Why is he lying about this? Is it because he knows that he's soulless? So he's like, when Dean finds out, I don't know, want him to blame me.
I don't think he knows that Sam is soulless. Maybe he knows something is wrong.
Yeah, or maybe he didn't even bring him. He did though. So
He
what
did
is
bring him
this?
back. I think he's just trying to hide the fact that he brought him back because he's too busy to, like, deal with it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. I do enjoy a white liar too. Sam goes, so it wasn't God? Aww. Yeah. And Cass is just like, I don't know, and also, I don't know. And then Dean goes, okay, if Sam is asking you a question, you just come down and tell him I don't know. Just because we have a bond doesn't mean that you should only listen to me.
No, this is crazy. Hilarious.
Literally.
He literally does say, just because we have some sort of a bond or something. He says
God.
a bond or whatever.
Yeah.
So true.
So
We have
true.
a bond or whatever.
He's almost as emotionally repressed as we are.
Perhaps so, yeah. We did learn it from Supernatural, allegedly.
And Cass goes, you think I came because you called? Which means that whole thing of telling Sam that he likes Dean better was completely unnecessary. And all he had to do was say, no, I came down because of, like, the case situation.
Yeah. He's
No.
hilarious. He was
so
like,
funny.
even if I didn't necessarily come down because I like Dean better, I need Sam to know that I do like Dean better. Like, that is something we need to confirm, even though that's not the reason why I'm here.
Yeah, he doesn't have time to do many things, such as protect a child from potential future police brutality, but he does have time for this. All right.
Literally.
So, he tells Sam that heaven didn't directly cause these killings, but the staff of Moses did, and it's gone missing. It's not being used at full capacity. He says, I think we can rule Moses out as a suspect. It's like, hey, and Sam and Dean look like he's so stupid for saying that, but when you meet real, actual biblical Adam in season 15, who's gonna be laughing? Nobody, because Jack is having a really bad time and gonna die. So,
Jack has a fun time with Serafina.
Yeah, but it's for the sake of him doing his whole
Dying.
self-sacrifice thing.
This is true.
Yeah, Dean calls Moses' staff Chuck Heston's disco stick. Why is Dean like an opposite translator? Like, he's the opposite of, like, the Wikipedia simple English.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically in the chaos of the war in heaven, a lot of powerful weapons were stolen. He needs Sam and Dean's help. And Sam's like, why should we do that when you won't even answer my calls? And this is when Cass does the Sam, Dean, my, quote, people skills, unquote, are, quote, rusty, unquote. He's doing finger quotes. It's great. Pardon me, but I've spent the last year as a multidimensional wavelength of celestial intent. He's my fave, except he's not this episode.
Yeah.
He tells them that they should just help him to prevent people's deaths. Dean says, okay, let's think about motive. And they have a newspaper clipping of Christopher Birch's father calling for an investigation into his son's death.
Yeah. Speaking of Cass being my favorite, but not this episode, it is actually so fascinating. Like, the entirety of my life, or not in the entirety of my life, but like when I think back to season 6, I think, yeah, Cass was like in the right, because in my head I was like, when Dean is like in the right, that's just the show talking. That's not true. um, and now like I'm like, no, yeah, Cass did fuck up this season. Just from this one episode, we can fully surmise that he did fuck up this season. And later on, Dean does ask Cass, like, pretty straightforwardly, like, why didn't you tell us? Like, why didn't you call us? Which is the same question he asks at the end in The Man Who Would Be King. Why did, like, you should have fucking told us.
Yeah.
And Cass says, that's very nice, Dean. Where were you when I needed to hear it? And Dean goes, I was there. And then it cuts, where were you? And then it cuts back and forth to like, do you know that? Like,
Yeah.
When Dean goes, I was there, where were you? And then it cuts to Cass watching him rake leaves.
Yeah.
Because Supernatural doesn't trust us to connect the dots in any way, shape, or form.
They just wanted Cass to have a gay little moment.
Yeah, they wanted him to kiss 100 boys in bars or something.
Exactly.
What I'm trying to say here is, I think I may have had a more benevolent look into Cass in season 6, just because of the distance from the season. I think I've mentioned this, like maybe in episode 1 of the season, but like this is probably the season I remember the least about. Like I don't really remember much about season 6, and I think I have colored Cass season 6 in rose paint. That's not how that saying goes. I have put on my rose-colored glasses to look at Cass.
All of the red flags just look like flags.
We go to the Birches, and this one man, Daryl Birch. Also, did we mention that like this family is black? They don't mention it like Sam and Dean. You like get the confirmation here, I guess, because this is a black family. Daryl Birch is the dad, and he's like sitting there and he's looking at like newspaper clippings, or like just newspaper of like the deaths, and then he like starts cutting up the newspaper, putting it like, I don't know, he's putting it somewhere. He's getting the clippings. And then there's this kid who comes in. Like, the kid is like, hey, Dad, like, how many times are you going to read that clipping? Like, let's just throw it out. But the dad tells him to go away. And so he does, and Sam and Dean and Cass just immediately show up in the living room. Yeah. Like, literally, like, teleport there. And then Daryl is like, what the fuck is this? And Sam goes, we're FBI agents. Which is hilarious. They immediately lead with like, yeah, those cops killed your kid. He didn't have a gun. The dad says like, yeah, they're all getting theirs. And Sam goes, and who's giving it to them, Daryl? What's wrong with him?
I don't know.
Dean goes, did you kill the cops? And he goes, no, I didn't. Look at how they died. How could I possibly kill them? The kid shows up.
No, well, first Cass says, you smote them with the staff of Moses.
Oh, yeah. He did do that. And then he goes, okay, let's just look for the staff. We don't need to question this guy. But then the kid shows up, and he's holding this staff like it was a gun. And then he goes, leave my dad alone. Later on, we'll discuss it, because like Cass does leave this kid to the cops. Like that is something that actually happens in this episode that is so egregiously bad.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I don't know, like this whole thing where they're also cops. Like feds are also cops, right?
They're also cops. They teleported into his house. And yeah, we're generally just very aggressive in their interrogation. And yeah, there's just no real sensitivity given to the fact that his son was murdered by cops. Yeah. And maybe you should be a bit chiller.
Yeah. Like internally in the story, there's no sensitivity. Externally in the writing of the story, they also seem to not give a fuck, which is what's so like mind-boggling to me. Because you chose to write this. Like, you chose to write this storyline. You chose to write this storyline.
Yeah.
And so, I feel like there's no reason to then be like, don't know. Like, what do you mean you don't know? You chose to write it.
Yeah.
You're a show that only writes to people of color when you think it will serve your plot, and specifically because they're people of color. And so, like, I don't know, there's like so many, like, it would also be probably bad just because this is supernatural if they try to address the police brutality and specifically the anti-black brutality in this show because of the way supernatural is. But like, to bring it up and then do nothing with it other than to go, we're also the bad guys, by the way, like, don't worry about it. Like, what the fuck is this? And like, yeah, okay, let's go on with what the fuck they do with this kid first before we get into the weeds of it. Cass realizes that the staff it's sawed off, like it's cut into pieces, and only a piece is given to Aaron, which is why like earlier Sam goes like, wait, isn't it supposed to turn the entire sea into blood? Like, why is it only turning
one guy
into blood? And this is why. It's because it's cut up into pieces. Like, the dad screams at Aaron to get the fuck out of there. And Cass boops his head, and then, he collapses. He goes to the kid, takes the fucking staff. Dean starts interrogating the kid. And he goes like, we're not gonna hurt you. We just need to know where you got this. And, like, the kid is just going, please don't kill my dad. It was me. And, what they gather is that the kid got it from an angel. He said, those bastards, like, they killed my brother and they didn't get, then nothing bad even happened to them. So I prayed to God and God didn't answer. But this angel did. And he said that I could have justice, but I have to take it myself. And then the angel gave him the staff of Moses. And Dean is like, well, what did you give in exchange? And he says, I bought it with my soul. And Cass is like, okay, well, nobody has ever sold a soul to an angel before, but I suppose it can happen. And they realize that, like, the staff is cut into pieces so that the angel can buy even more souls.
We never learn what it means to sell your soul to an angel. It sounds fine to me. Guaranteed to.
Yeah, what is the logic behind it?
Like, what is it?
Because later on in season 8, I believe, or maybe season 9, we do get verification that what is running heaven is the souls. Like, the souls are keeping the lights on. And so it's not like it's a fucking imposition to heaven to have souls. Like, they also need it.
Right.
And so buying a soul is like, it's probably fine. I don't know. What the fuck is going on?
I mean, if it's
I think
like the
maybe they will clarify it later in season 6.
Deal, then I guess it'd be bad that the kid has to die within 10 years. Like, that would be the negative
this
part
is true.
of it. But yeah, it's not.
If that was the case,
clear.
They should have clarified that. I believe.
They really, really should have clarified.
Cass boops this kid asleep and then puts him over his shoulder.
Yeah, and that kid
And
never
Dean
talks again. That is the end of Aaron being conscious and speaking and having a personality and story.
And Dean goes, well, what the fuck? And then they go back to the motel room and he lies the kid down on the bed. And then he goes like, yeah, I need to read the mark and that the angel left in the soul. He says that it will be extremely painful for the kid. And Dean is the only one who protests. Like, Sam just stands in the corner like, okay. And Dean is like, no, wait, why? You can't do that. And Sam just goes, is there any permanent damage? And Cass goes, well, physically minimal. Dean protests and protests. And Cass just goes, there is no other way. And I will have to torture this kid because I don't have the privilege not to. No, he says I don't have the luxury not to or something.
Yeah. I can't wake him up and ask if that angel spoke with a stupid Scottish French accent that sounds British.
I specifically hate that, like, in this scene, they, like, linger on Cass's sad face when he goes, I don't have the luxury. And then we go to Dean's face in, like, shock, but also a bit of understanding. And it's like, fuck off. Fuck off. Pissing me off.
Yeah, Supernatural has a thing where there's points where they're like, I'm putting my foot down, like something like crosses a line regarding what my morals are. And then there's other times when they're like, it's difficult for me emotionally and only me, but it has to be done. And it's interesting where this one falls regarding that dichotomy.
I think Supernatural has always done this thing, and we have always pointed it out. But to them, it's not about the thing. It's not about doing the thing. It's about how you feel about doing the thing.
Yes.
So it's fine if you do a bad thing, as long as you feel bad about it.
Yeah.
So you feel guilty, as long as it's the only choice, then it's completely fine that you do a horrible thing, as long as you have nightmares about it after. Like, fuck off.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pissing me off.
So Dean's good because he went, no. Okay, though.
He went, no.
About it.
And he's going to be sad about this for the rest of the day. Like, and then Sam, like, both of them allowed it to happen. Just to be completely clear. Like, both Sam and Dean allowed it to happen. But because Dean protested and went, no, oh, okay, you're sad. Oh, fine, but I'm still sad about it. And Sam just went, no, it's wrong. Okay, yeah, go ahead. That makes Sam, like, more egregious than Dean. Because, like, and I mean, Sam is more egregious than Dean. Because if both of them protested, maybe they would have had a chance. But, like, like, Dean also allowed it to happen. Like, you know? Yeah. And the morality of Supernatural really shines through this episode. There's also the whole conversation about, like, what does being a hunter mean?
Yeah, I mean, regarding, like, what it means to be a hunter, like, the reason that they're going after the staff is Cass is like, oh, so many more people are going to die. Why? I mean, it seems like when they thought it was the dad, it seemed like he had 3 specific people he wanted to die, rightfully so.
And this kid also had dead. 3 specific people that they wanted to kill. And even the cops said, like, after us, it's probably done. Like,
yeah. So there's no actual further harm being prevented here, but it's just like, no, they can't have this power because maybe they'll be bad. Why? I don't know. Just give it to heaven. We'll be good with the staff of Moses. So, like, that doesn't make any sense. And then, like, what they do later for Aaron is that they force Balthazar to let go of his claim on his soul. And, like, that's, like, okay, this is, like, within the realm of a hunter. Like, this is, like, a supernatural thing that's happening to the kid that's bad, so we're gonna make it stop. But, like, they don't think about, like, being sensitive when they're approaching the family for questioning. They don't think about doing anything other than torture to get the answer of which angel sold this to him. Like, they fucking leave him there for the cops because time is of the essence to get to Balthazar, but they don't think about, like, the emotional toll that, like, the cops getting him.
The institution that killed your brother.
Yeah, after remembering being tortured and in horrible physical pain, also, and then going home to your dad who an angel knocked out just now.
Let's play out this situation, right? The cops come to him. They take him home. They go in. The dad has clippings of the dead police officers on the table.
Yes.
You think they're going to be benevolent to this guy who has been actively seeking out justice against them? Like fuck off. I do think, like, it really showcases, like, the fundamental missteps in, like, the philosophy of the show. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like, we have always said that, like, Supernatural exists within a framework that is inherently racist. Mm-hmm. And, like, I don't know, Supernatural has always played it out in a, like, fantasy racism thing.
Yeah.
Always.
And also sometimes real racism.
And then when they do this is something that we also said about Gordon, right? Like they would try to attempt to do this thing where it's like, no, but like the monsters, you have an actual black character on screen that you are mistreating to hell and back.
Yeah, and you also left him to the cops in season 2, right?
Yeah. And like, I mean, I don't even think the fucking race allegory that they're doing is good. Like, number one. I don't think it's particularly good to go, no, but the vampires are the equivalent of people of color.
Yeah, you know how people of color, in order to live, they have to suck white people's blood?
Yeah, but like, that is what Supernatural is doing. Like, in that episode, that was explicitly pretty much what they were doing. Like, pretty explicitly.
Yeah.
And so, to want to do that and then to turn around and go, but we don't have to treat any of the actual black characters that we have on the show with any dignity whatsoever. Don't worry about it. Like, okay. Well, fuck off.
I guess another thing I was thinking about is that, you know, Aaron's a kid who's taking revenge on cops who murdered his brother. In like the show that's about brothers who love
taking
each other,
revenge,
who take revenge on other people because of their brothers, and also like make pretty much every character a mirror to one of the brothers, because the way for you to feel compassion for a character in Supernatural is by going, they're just like Sam or Dean for real. And it's like, obviously, like, I don't think that doing a direct one-to-one of like being killed by demons and being killed by racist cops is like a good move for Supernatural, but I think there's also like a way for like them to connect with Aaron and like talk to him more, and like in a way that it's like, I fully understand what you did, and like, you also love your brother, I also love my brother, etc., as a way of like, I don't know, just like making him a character that the audience connects to more.
Yeah.
And all of that. And they just skip over it. Like, it seems like they don't even consider doing any kind of parallels. And that's
like, the thing is that is Supernatural's language. Like, it sounds like yeah, they probably shouldn't do this fucking parallel thing, but that is what they do. That is how the show communicates it to its audience, that like, this is a character that we're supposed to care about, or this is a storyline that we're supposed to connect to. That is how they do it. And so the fact that they don't do it at all, they don't extend that familiarity, or that they don't extend that like generosity in terms of like thought towards this kid. Also, this kid is like 14. Like, it's a kid, for real. They don't extend that to this kid and this family. I do think, as you said, like, speaks to what Supernatural thinks you, the audience, should feel about this. Like, no, they're other.
Yeah.
Is season 6 going to be like this? Like, is Sarah Gamble... What's gonna happen?
I don't know.
I mean,
right.
Time is progressing.
Sean, not good.
Yeah, like, time is progressing in Supernatural. The show and also the writer's room, it's progressing. And so at some point, it should get better. Like, at least. Yeah, you know? But
I don't know.
They find new ways. Supernatural, we will find a way. That's their tagline.
Yeah, Supernatural is progressing in the ways that it will put racism in its show.
Yeah, they do end up torturing this kid. And the way they do it is like, while the kid is screaming, like, it goes to Dean, like, making a sad face. And yeah, Cass is done. We like never pan to this kid ever again. Like, I don't think we ever see him on camera ever again, except accidentally when Cass is having that
in, like,
fight scene.
Peripheral shots lying on the bed at points.
Cass is like, oh yeah, I had a good friend, and it's this good friend who is doing all this. I thought he died. Dean is asking questions. Cass just goes, Balthazar, I wonder. And then an angel like appears in the room and goes, oh yeah, Balthazar, you finally said it. Thanks, Cass. Now I have a name. And then the angel starts attacking Cass and they start having a fight scene. And the angel goes, oh, by the way, Raphael says hello. It's a fight scene. The setting of this room is like it's in a high-rise building and they must be like in the 7th floor or something. Cass throws him and the angel out of the window. They both end up landing on Sam's car, the other angel on Sam's hood, and Cass like right in the middle. And it is pretty cool because like Sam and Dean look down and Cass is like embedded into the car and he he gets himself out of there, and as he does, like the metal like squishes further. Very fun. And the angel disappears, and then like, you know, there's like the loud blaring alarm of Sam's car. It's completely fucking totaled.
Sam goes, my car!
And Dean just smirks and goes, okay, silver lining. Also, not to be you know, a Castiel shipper, but I do find it completely amusing when Cass throws himself down and then Sam and Dean both peek the first time. Like, Sam, of course, has a distressed face because of his car. And Dean is doing like a little gasp, like a, which is very fun.
Yeah.
Like an impressed little face. Yeah, R.I.P. to this Dodge Charger from 2006.
Yeah, does he ever get a new car?
Well, in season 7, they've changed cars always. They have to hide the Impala.
Oh, but like, he and Dean aren't like living and working together anymore. Like, he needs a car to go on his solo hunts. I'd assume he'd get a new one.
Maybe he will, yeah.
Okay, I hope he does. You know, I'm a big proponent of the Sam driving league. Cass teleports back into the room and tells them that the angel he fought was a soldier of Raphael. Cass starts setting up the ritual to find Balthazar, but Dean's like, no, answer our questions, like, right now, Cass. What is up? And he explains that there's a civil war going on in heaven, where Raphael and his followers want to rule heaven, but many other people don't. And he doesn't say who that other camp wants to take over, but I guess it's him. Everyone hates him and wants him to die, though.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he goes, I and many others. The last thing we want is to let him take over. And many others is like one or two other
One
people.
guy. Many others is him, and then half of Balthazar's heart. Like, Balthazar don't even give a fuck.
Yeah. It's just Castiel, Cass, and Cass with 2 S's.
It is hilarious later on. He kills that angel. And then he goes, why won't any of you listen to me? Why won't any of you listen to me? Now I have to kill you.
Yeah, and I know he's having his emotional, mournful moment or whatever, but I don't care. So,
yeah, he kind of sucks. Go back to being eye candy, Cass.
He says that whoever has all these powerful heavenly weapons is going to win the war. So that's why he finds the Staff of Moses so important. And what Raphael wants is to continue and to continue the apocalypse to its end. Because he's a traditionalist. And Dean goes like, Cass, why didn't you tell us? And Cass says that he was ashamed and expected more from his brothers. Why would he? They were all
first of all, I
pro-apocalypse.
just find it hilarious that it's like, why didn't you tell me? I was ashamed because my brother sucks so bad. If you truly were ashamed, you would have kept that to yourself, Cass. I'm gatekeeping shame.
Not even a top 15 Mitski song, I would say. It's not bad, But
No, well, like, to be clear, my complaint is that they deliver it with no subtlety, and I wish it was something that went through more, like, they don't just say it in here, like, we see it in actuality. That's how we figure it out, kind of deal. Yeah.
yeah, I did write down, I think Misha Collins is a bad actor when this line came up.
Yeah.
But it's
I
also
think I thought he
hard
was a
to
bad
deliver.
actor in You Think I Came Because You Called. But also, to be fair, that's like just a bad line to give to Cass, I feel.
Yeah.
Like, Cass would say, I did not come here because you called me, Dean. Like, that's a Cass line.
Yeah.
You think I came here because you called? Fuck off. Who the fuck is writing this? Van Edlund? I will not threaten you in any way, shape, or form. But
Ben
I might.
Edlund, I hope you live a long life and that when you die, it's not in my country.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think, the fact that there's like no pause before he says I was ashamed, I think that was the acting choice that I thought was quite bad. But it's also not a very well written line.
It's like they forgot how to write Cass or something.
I guess.
I
don't know,
think because
how
they
long has
were
it been?
leaning. I think with the Cass scenes this episode, they were really leaning a lot into the comedy of him. Like, just the absurdity of his character. That I don't think they really did well with the, like, more emotional parts or whatever.
Yeah.
And also some of the comedy also. But, like, there are scenes that are funny with him. Like, I found him amusing and, like, Seb, Dean, I spent the last year, like, that was funny. I wasn't gonna mention it. It was funny. When he said, like, that is still the saying. Like, that is pretty funny. But, like, there's just, like, you know, some lines here and there. And this emotional, like, the more emotional lines that are like, yeah, I think they're still feeling this character out.
Raphael wants the apocalypse because he's quote unquote a traditionalist. The last time Raphael talked about why, or just his general thoughts about God and the apocalypse was 503, right?
Yeah.
I didn't review that scene before this episode. I should do it now. Do you recall what his deal was?
Well, his deal was predominantly God is not here.
So, yeah, right. It was God's not here. So you think you can do whatever you want? He's upset that God ran off and disappeared, left no instructions, and a world to run. We're tired. We just want it to be over. We just want paradise. I don't know. Is that super traditionalist? Like, part of traditionalist stuff is, like, thinking that it's God's will and all of that, right? For the apocalypse to happen. But, like, in 503, it seems very clearly like I'm
We're
upset
tired.
at being abandoned, and if we just go through with this apocalypse thing, and if Michael wins in some way, then we'll, like, end up in the good universe where there's paradise on Earth because of all the suffering that I saw on Earth in the last century.
I suppose it is his enemy Castiel who's characterizing him right now. It is a possibility that his philosophy is different. I'm not holding out my breath for it because of supernatural. But like, I don't think Raphael really is the person to have made into a villain of season 6. This seems to be what they're doing.
I guess Michael's in the cage. They already established Gabriel as a little scamp, and Lucifer's Lucifer. But yeah, I feel like Gabriel had villain potential.
Yeah, but you see, Gabriel is lovable and Raphael is stern, and so we know how it goes.
Or, I don't know, there's just a lot. Isn't there also this super monster thing going on anyway? Like, that could have just been the conflict.
Yeah, we'll figure that out as we go.
Okay.
I think, you would be surprised by how related they are.
Thank you for your subtlety, Gray.
I don't really remember the intricacies of the plot of season 6, but like those are a thing that are together forever, even, or something.
Got it. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think Cass is just being flattening in his characterization, but as you said, I
Yeah,
also
but
doubt
also
that Raphael will have a
supernatural, yeah.
chance to really explain himself at any point
Yeah.
during the season.
And like, I don't know, it does make me sad that they're like really intent on making Raphael like evil or whatever. Like, I don't know, like, I feel like there is value to, because like if we look at the four archangels, it's like you know, you have Lucifer who hates God and his response is to like hate God. You have Michael who still believes in his dad, and then you have Gabriel who hates his dad, and the response, or he doesn't seem to hate his dad. He seems to
swad.
be mad at his brothers, like that his anger is externalized towards his brothers or something. You have Raphael who's like mad at God. His response is to feel defeated. And like, you know, like we have talked about how having like all of these four archangels who are like the brothers of the show, not, you know what I mean? Like they are portrayed as like brothers with brother dynamics, with like a dad who is absent and harsh. I don't think it's productive to have yet another brother be the villain.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, I think it does speak to something about Supernatural that they were like, and Gabriel is going to be the one who we love. We love him. Love him. Like, fuck off.
Yeah, and he has multiple episodes where all he does is antagonize and torture Sam and Dean, but he still gets his little redemption moment.
Yeah.
So,
and Raphael gets
what's
nothing.
that about? And like stern characters, Cass started as a stern character, and you know, they kept running with him, and now everybody loves him, etc., etc. So like, it's not just that they were like, Raphael's no fun. Like, they've shown that they can make a stern character fun. Like, Cass is mostly there for comic relief, in fact. But
and like, I think there was a time when the general fandom consensus, and also you and I feel we brought this to the podcast as well, is the idea that like the fans don't react to certain characters well, so the show doesn't develop them. Like, I think more and more I'm like, that's just bullshit, man. Like, if the show wanted to do it, they can.
Yeah.
Like, if they wanted to commit to Cass not being here anymore, they could have done that.
Yeah.
Yeah, people are gonna complain and gonna stop watching and gonna send feathers to your office where you have workers that are allergic. But like, you know, like you could have committed to it. And like, that's an extreme case. Like the casting is an extreme case because it's like you kill the character that they want to be in the show. But for example, in situations where it's like you have a character in the show and the audience is not reacting to that character well, it's not like it's automatically like, oh, damn it, now you have to kill them. Like,
yeah,
that's not like your only option. You can do other things.
Have you considered writing good?
Have you considering your writing options? Yeah, like there is a point where it's like, yeah, I think the show just doesn't give a fuck to do it.
Like, they came in with Gordon knowing that he was going to be a villain, so they didn't bother. They did the same thing with Uriel, and now the same thing with Raphael.
And, like, they can go, like, oh, but you see, we tried. And it's like, well, if you tried harder, you could have done something with it.
So, Cass takes some of Dean's blood for the ritual, because Dean is his favorite. The police are showing up because of, like, the whole car alarm, two people crashing on top of a car situation. Cass has tracked down Balthazar's location and says, let's go. And Dean goes, wait, what about Aaron? And Cass goes, don't you think the police will take him home? And it just cuts.
You can just teleport him like that. Like, you can just literally go.
Yeah, it was
like, you can just snap
fast.
And you're back there.
Yeah, and I was thinking about the purpose of this line, and I think it's for Supernatural to reiterate that not all cops are bad. Because, it cuts after that. There's no, Dean face reaction shot. It cuts it's, what Cass says is obvious. Of course they'll take him home and it'll be fine.
Yeah. I think I thought the intention was to show that Cass is, heartless now. Doesn't give a fuck.
I think that is possible, but I feel like the way that they've done that is, Dean face reaction
Dean
shots.
react, yeah.
And there was no Dean face reaction shot. This was just, Cass saying a statement and then it cutting. So, to me it read as, well, duh, they will. And just as, so don't worry, not all cops are bad. These ones will take him home and he'll be real happy about it. But it could also be what you said.
I think it could also be, the whole, what is the role of a hunter? Oh, this is out of our bounds. We don't have to take this kid home. It's not our responsibility.
We kidnapped him, but we don't have to take him home.
Now they're, in the lawn of a mansion. Sam and Dean basically stay outside, and it's just Cass who comes in. And there's this scene where there's, those fancy stairs in fancy houses? And there's a giant fucking frog sitting on the railing right in the middle. And Cass looks at it, and the frog looks at him and croaks. And there's, close-ups of both of them. And then, he goes up, he follows where the music is. What is with the gag with the frogs? Balthazar says it later. I still don't understand it. Am I missing something?
I don't know. It's a plague and he was turning some angels into frogs.
So that frog was an angel?
They were jumping out of the throat of the dead body of the angel that attacked Cass earlier.
Balthazar is there, and he has a ambiguous accent. I'm pretty sure it's British. I think we can just say it's a British accent.
But is it?
Listeners, if you think this accent is a British accent, send us an ask saying that Cass should go into hate. Thank you. Nobody, absolutely nobody has done it still.
Yeah, I think we're supposed to take that as a message.
The angel that Cass duked it out with earlier is now dead on the floor, and there's a frog coming out of his mouth. And Castiel is Balthazar, this is serious shit. I thought you were dead. I grieved you. Yeah, and Balthazar's yeah, no. I needed to die so that I can live. Cass asks, you stole the staff of Moses. And Balthazar says he stole a lot of things and that he needed to do it because nothing's ever going to change in heaven. And so just get a weapon, get out of there and run and live your life. And Balthazar's whatever you need, Cass, just ask, I'll give it to you. And Cass goes I need the weapons. And Balthazar's oh no. And Balthazar actually says that the reason why I've done all this is because you tore up the script. I'm just following your footsteps. No, it's a new era of no rules, no destiny, just utter and complete freedom. And Cass is upset that this is what he did with that freedom. And Cass finally mentions that it's a civil war up there. If we can beat Raphael, we can end this. Just give me the weapons. And Balthazar says, you know what's so funny about you? You actually believe you can stop the fighting. Just leave, Cass. Just fake your own death and go. Cass says, well, Raphael now knows that you're alive, so tough luck. And Balthazar's well, whatever. I'm just going to leave. And I'm happy to see you, even if you still have that stick up your ass. He leaves. Well, first, there's big thunder, and he's oh yeah, Raphael's coming. Well, tell him to bite me. And then he leaves. And it's just Cass now. Raphael and I think 2 other angels come in. Sam and Dean are downstairs, and then an angel shows up, and Sam goes hey, I'm here and I have an angel blade. And then another angel shows up behind Sam. And it's like, well, you think you can knife fight an angel? And we go to Dean, who's like, who said anything about knife fights? And then he does the sigil and it expels the angels out of there. You know what? I do love when they do this shit. Like, I love when they, like, bluff things out. And it's like, oh no, Sam's in danger. But only because they planned it. And Dean has an even bigger gun. Like, love it.
It's pretty fun.
Yeah, and Cass is inside. And there's another angel that's coming on to him. And the angel is, like, walking towards him. And Cass is going, no! But don't do this, please! And then he's like just saying, no, I don't want to hurt you. I don't want to hurt you. And literally the angel is like 5 feet away from him. And he throws a fucking angel blade to his chest. And the angel dies, collapses on the ground. And Cass just goes,
did we even see the wings?
Any of you listen. What?
Did we even get wings on this guy?
No, I don't think so. I think they gaff. And also, I don't think we see like the body like fall to the ground with the angel wings. And then Raphael shows up. They're like fighting, I suppose. And Raphael is about to fucking kill this guy when suddenly Balthazar shows up and he has a giant rock of salt, I would assume. And it starts glowing. Raphael turns into a pillar of salt. It is so fucking corny that Balthazar has to go, oh yeah, same thing happened to Lot's wife. Like, fuck off.
I know.
We all read Slaughterhouse 5.
We all fucking know about Lot's wife. We've read the poetry and the Bible.
Cass goes, you came back. And Balthazar's like, yeah, no, Raphael's gonna need to find a new body. So, like, it's fine. And Dean shows up and drops a lighter onto a ring of holy oil. How did they ever plan this shit? How did they ever plan this shit?
I don't know. Well, we were only getting I think shots of Balthazar and Cass's faces during that conversation. Maybe Dean was crawling around on the floor in a circle around him with holy oil. And
Dean was actually Naruto running around Balthazar this whole time.
Yeah.
This wasn't relevant to our journey.
Exactly.
Balthazar calls Dean a hairless ape. He seems to have some hair.
Yeah. And is it blonde or brown?
Let's not get into it. And Dean is like, okay, what you're going to do is you're going to remove the marker of Aaron Birch's soul. And Balthazar is like, wow, you're going to let this fucking hairless ape talk to me like this, Castiel? And Cass goes, yes. Balthazar is like, okay, fine. And then he clears the boy's debt. His soul is his own. We, of course, never see this, never see follow-up, never see anything.
Yeah.
They don't even seem to give a fuck about again, the soul thing is probably fine. They did just torture this kid, though. Are we not gonna acknowledge that he also removed the torture?
Yeah.
What's happening?
Yeah, we know that Cass can remove memories. I feel like it would be a kindness to remove the memory of the torture, but he doesn't have the luxury.
Dean asks, why are you buying souls anyway? And Balthazar goes, well, in this economy, it's probably the only thing worth buying.
Okay, sure, Balthazar. I know that Cass has to eat
Is he a crypto bro? Maybe he is a crypto bro. Maybe if we think of souls as some sort of cryptocurrency, then everything makes sense.
Well, Cass swallows all the souls in purgatory in order to have enough power to defeat Raphael. So, is this a similar situation? But, okay, why does Balthazar need all that shit if all he wants to do is have 12 sums and hang out as he said he was doing on Earth?
Have what? Souls? Oh, yeah, you'll figure that out next time.
Okay, cool.
Balthazar's like, okay, well, now you gotta release me. And Dean's like, no, we don't. But Cass does.
Wait. Okay, so if an angel has the power to reduce the flames of holy fire, why can't angels in the circle do it and then leave?
Because they're powered down on the inside.
Okay. Is that real?
No. But I assume it is.
Okay.
How else are you going to explain this?
that they just didn't think about it too hard.
Cass tells Balthazar, like, my debt to you is cleared. So they're equal now because, you know, Balthazar turned Raphael into a pillar of salt and Cass let him go. And Dean, as Balthazar leaves, Dean, like, shouts at Cass, like, are you out of your mind? But as he turns around, Cass is also gone. And he's like, oh, fucking angels. Well, he says, friggin' angels. Come on.
Come on. So, you know, we're post-case, and Sam and Dean are trying to cram all the stuff in Sam's car trunk into the Impala now.
There's a scene where they pick up like Sam finds a Halloween costume.
Yeah.
Just like me with Dino and Chester in the like far end of the trunk, and he takes it out, and it's a mask of the monster from season 1, episode 2.
Yeah.
But they don't say it like that. They don't say, oh, this is the monster from season 1, episode 2. They just say it straight up. And like, yeah, Dean is like, oh yeah, like that's for Ben's Halloween costume. With the implication that he made it because it's an accurate representation, apparently.
All right.
Which is pretty fun.
They have a convo where Dean's asking Sam, like, are you okay? You've been kind of sus. Like, why weren't you against Cass torturing a child?
Are you a child torturer, Sam? And Sam basically goes, well, you are, but like, I don't have to be. But I am, so who give a fuck?
Dean's like, it just seems like you didn't care. And Sam goes, you're wrong. Dean says that something's up with him, and I feel like it's something happened to you in hell. Like, I understand that it really fucks somebody up. He says, believe me, I know what that does to a guy. And Sam says, to you.
To you?
So
one guy.
Funny. So fucking funny. And Dean's like,
no, this
what?
is hilarious.
And Sam goes, you know what it does to you? It tortured you, you know? Like, I think it still does, but I'm okay. He's so funny. He said, R.I.P. to you, but I'm different.
Literally, and he is.
He is. Dean's like, was your singer stronger than me? And Sam says, no, I'm just saying R.I.P. to you, but we're different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm built different, Dean.
And they drive off.
That's it. What did we think about this episode? I think they're building up to, like, in terms of, like, what it contributes to the show, they are building up to something.
Yeah.
I wish they didn't use anti-back police brutality as a way to build up that Sam and Cass are slowly turning evil. Or whatever the fuck.
I agree with that statement.
Also, just like that IMDb user once said, what is up with supernatural and torture? What the fuck is their deal with torture?
Like, maybe Sam and Dean learned some people skills. Like, Crowley's supposed to be, like, the negotiator, and, like, he doesn't even
his negotiation is just torture.
Yeah, just torture and then killing some other people and being like, you'll die if you don't tell me. Like, what is this? It's like these writers don't even believe in the power of the word.
Yeah. Best line, worst line?
To you is my best line.
Is your best line? No, yeah, that's pretty fine.
Yeah. The people skills rusty, multi-dimensional intent is good too.
I think, like, on the sequence of, like, funny cast lines, I do find the, that is still the same, yes. Quite hilarious.
Good.
And, I mean, offshoot of it, why would any of you listen to me? It's also really fucking funny.
I don't think it was intended to be.
I mean, I know, but, like, it is.
And is it the best line?
I would say it's pretty hilarious.
Worst line. Don't you think the police will take him home?
I think Cass saying, I don't have the privilege And the way they like frame that as like a reveal to Dean or whatever.
No.
It allows him to accept the fate of this kid who is not his to accept.
Don't like it.
What's our next one? Spread those sheets?
Yeah, there is racism.
I do think it's a 4 or a 5. I think it's fundamental to the episode.
Yeah,
I think it's really bad.
Yeah. Well, which of the two are we going for?
What do you think?
I don't know.
Have we ever done a 5?
We did a 5 for Hammer of the Gods, but I don't think everything needs to be Hammer of the Gods to be a 5. Like,
yeah.
It's like, yeah.
Okay, let's do a 5 for this
5
one.
5 is reasonable. Misogyny, I think a bit with the sex worker at the beginning.
1?
Yeah, 1 makes sense. And I don't remember any homophobia. We did say there was queer baiting, but, like...
I don't think that's homophobic. Yeah.
Nah.
What's our next one?
IMDb.
Ratings.
If I had to guess, I'd say this is the highest of... Oh, wait, I'm odd. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I'd say this is the highest of season 6 so far. Like, in terms of what I think people would, enjoy.
We have 2 7.8s. So,
we have a
7.6 and a 7.8.
So, yeah, I don't know how high...
This would be higher.
Yeah, but I don't know how much higher, because I don't know what the new standards of season 6 are. So I'm just gonna say an 8.0.
Ah, me too.
Sad.
8.0. Okay,
are we diversifying our portfolio? Now you're just gonna go with it?
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go 8.1 then.
Okay.
Okay, let's see. It's an 8.1.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you.
What are people saying?
I really enjoyed this episode. Castiel is back. I like Castiel. The way he and the brothers communicate is just great. I really enjoyed their reunion. Blah, blah, blah.
This is not our Sam. Sam would never hire a prostitute.
No, is that something they really said?
Yeah.
This one says, something is still off with Sam, ... and his shiny new jar just had to go, happy face. So at least that part will be right, but now, happy face. Balthazar is pretty darn hot and interesting. Has anyone ever felt that way apart from this person?
I don't know. I think it's because people like British accents, which may or may not be his accent. Yeah.
The gore level moved way up this episode.
The gore level is up because Sarah Gamble likes more gruesome scenes. I believe it. You've mentioned that this has been sort of a season 6 staple.
Yeah. I think people love Cass.
Yeah, okay. This episode mentions that it apes Black Lives Matter for social color, and it all feels cheap and ill-planned.
Yeah, it does. Okay, this one. I'm gonna read this whole thing. This one is 2 over 10. Awful second half. So here's what's wrong with this episode and what will eventually kill the series. Written in October 9, 2010, by the way, so they don't know anything. We start off with a bang as 3 police officers die incredibly gory deaths. Turns out someone has put a hex on the tree, and Sam and Dean are in town to check things out. So far, so good. The hex is caused by a misuse of Moses' staff, which has been stolen by an angel, and Sam and Dean must retrieve the staff, just as if they were in an episode of Warehouse 13 or Friday the 13th, the TV series. Evocative. From there, it's all downhill, as we find out is heaven is still at war. The rest of the episode is still stuff with Castiel, who was okay for a story arc, but not as a recurring character, has words with some other angels, and fights break out. Dull, dull, dull. The thing that killed Ghost Whisperer,
your
a TV show I love, by the way, was an increasingly maudlin tone and the overuse of Hewitt's real-life boo in a recurring role as a college prof. The poor guy couldn't act his way out of a paper bag. And this, plus the maudlin stuff eventually did in GW. The overuse of Heavenly Wars and Castiel himself will kill Supernatural. But then, the show has been on for 6 seasons. And as much as I'd like to see it go another 6, The writers have hit bottom for plots.
So
we watched
true.
The X-Files die a painful death in its last 2 or 3 seasons. Now we apparently have to witness the same for Supernatural. It is a real shame.
It is a real shame.
It's literally fine.
This person has 700 reviews.
I don't know. I'm holding out hope that season 6 may not be that bad, but given the trajectory of where we are right now as people and as a podcast, probably not. And the TV show Supernatural. That's it for this episode of Bus Station Beauties. Next week we will be discussing season 6 episode 4, Weekend at Bobby's.
Nice.
Leave us a rating or review wherever you get your podcasts.
Follow us on social media. We are on Tumblr at busstationbeautiespod.tumblr.com. Our official tag is BABPOD, BABPOD. Thanks to everyone who's donated to our Ko-fi at ko-fi.com/busstationbeautiespod, which is where our outtakes live. And check out our merch at babpod.redbubble.com.
You can email us your feedback, comments, or inquiries at busstationbeautiespod@gmail.com. See you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.